welcome to the Vegan Man Food Channel. This is Cooking with Manny. And if this is your first time with us, well, my name is Manny. Thank you so much for joining us for another vegan recipe. What we're going to be making today is quite possibly one of my favorite sandwiches ever. This is the vegan banh mi. And so if you're wondering what a banh mi is, basically it's a Vietnamese style sandwich. It's going to be full of flavor, full of a wide variety of Vietnamese flavors as we see Vietnamese fused with French cuisine. It's an excellent sandwich, and it's a great family recipe for a family dinner. It's a quick and easy recipe, and so I welcome you and look forward to making this sandwich with you. So let's go ahead and take a look at the ingredients that we're going to be using today. Okay, so let's review the ingredients for our banh mi. Now, since it's a sandwich, we're going to start with the bread. So for a banh mi, typically a banh mi, it uses French bread. But in this case, you'll see I'm using a ciabatta baguette. Now, you can use whatever bread you'd like. You could use French bread, you could use ciabatta bread, you could use sourdough, really. But in this case, for this sandwich that I'm making today, I'm making it with the ciabatta baguette. I personally love the flavor that the baguette gives to the banh mi. So that's what I'm going to be using today. Now, this baguette is from Trader Joe's. Of course, it's $1.99. The whole baguette, you can really make this into 4 sandwiches. So in this case, I'm really only going to price this at 49 cents. Now, next we're going to talk about the tofu. So here's the tofu. Obviously, it's a vegan banh mi. Typically, a banh mi comes with beef. So a traditional banh mi has that beef, very thinly sliced beef, but we're having tofu. Now, I'm not just going to do plain tofu, I'm going to fry my tofu. So with the ingredients here like cornstarch, flour, the spices, I've priced just the amount of tofu we're going to put on the sandwich is about 55 cents worth. Now, another key part of a banh mi are the pickled veggies. Now, if you go to a Vietnamese restaurant or any Asian food restaurant and they serve you banh mi and the veggies come and they're just plain, they're not pickled. That's technically not how the veggies are served on a banh mi. Typically, they are pickled. And if you go to a Vietnamese restaurant, in most cases the pickled veggies are right there on the table. They put them there as basically garnishes to eat along with most of the Vietnamese food. So in this case, we're going to be pickling a cucumber, carrots, also a daikon, and jalapenos. Those are going to be the pickled ingredients we're going to use in this banh mi. Now next you'll see mayo. We're going to make our own sriracha, vegan sriracha mayo to go on this sandwich. That sriracha mayo really serves as the base in between our sandwich, our bread, and the tofu. Now, next you'll see we have basil. The basil here, you can get basil. This is probably about 19 cents worth right here. Now, this was actually free basil for me. I just picked it off of my basil plant out front. And cilantro. So we're not going to use the whole bunch. We'll probably use about 19 cents worth of cilantro. Back to the mayo, probably only about 19 cents worth of mayo, as well as 5 cents of sriracha. Now, take a look at this here. This right here is hoisin. Again, this is a very important flavor profile in the banh mi. So you need hoisin sauce to be included in the banh mi sandwich in order to give it the exact banh mi flavor. So we have hoisin. We'll throw a glob of that on. I priced it about 9 cents worth of hoisin, and of course sriracha. So now that we've seen our ingredients, we see how much this sandwich is going to cost. Let's go ahead and get into how to put it together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to press the tofu. This is very important because it gets the moisture out of the tofu. Now, what I'm using here is a tofu press. I love this little device. You let the tofu sit for about 30 minutes. While you're doing that, go ahead and add some olive oil to a mixing bowl and add some soy sauce. I'm adding aminos, but you can use soy sauce. Then add some sriracha. Next, you're going to wait 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, and you can take the tofu out of your press. And as you can see there, it really pulls the liquid out. Now go ahead and cut your tofu into long rectangles. Now, most times people will then cut these into cubes, but I'm going to teach you a trick. What you want to do is separate the long rectangles and then tear them into cube-like squares. The reason why you want to tear them is because notice the roughness on the sides. The roughness is where a lot of the flavor is going to gather. That's one of the most important things to keeping flavor with your tofu. Now, go ahead and mix the tofu together, fully saturate that oil and soy sauce, aminos, get it in there. Now we're going to add our flour, 2 tablespoons. And then also we're going to add our cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of that. And then I like to go ahead and add in a lot of the salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Now, if you think about it, a lot of those flavors, as you mix it up, that's going to be really getting into those nooks and crannies of the tofu. Next, we're going to prepare our air fryer, and you go ahead and put down some aluminum foil and use a toothpick to go ahead and poke some holes in the aluminum foil. That will allow the air to come up through the aluminum foil. Go ahead and spread out your tofu and try to keep it nice and flat. Now we're ready to add our tofu to our air fryer. Go ahead and put the basket in. Turn the air fryer on, set it at 370 for 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes are up, pull the tofu out, give it a nice shake. You can even move the tofu around. Put it back in and now set it for about 8 minutes. After 8 minutes, now we have some air-fried tofu. Now that we have everything ready, you know what that means. It's time for a plating break. For this next step, you can do this while you're waiting for your tofu to be in the air fryer, but let's make some sriracha mayo. So you can see I added 2 tablespoons of mayo, and next I'm adding some sriracha. The trick with this is that you really have to experiment with it. Add sriracha, taste it, mix it again together. If it's not right, add some more sriracha. Every now and then you might have to add some more mayo. Now that we have all of our ingredients ready, we're ready to assemble our banh mi sandwich. We have our pickled veggies, we have hoisin sauce, we have our tofu. First, we're going to put on our sriracha mayo. Go ahead and spread that on your bread. Next, add a few layers of pickled veggies and make sure to keep that nice and flat. Next, we're going to pile on a good, healthy amount of air-fried tofu. Next, I'm going to add some cilantro. And then after adding cilantro, I'll go ahead and throw the basil right on top. Now at this point, we are going to add some hoisin sauce. Go ahead and squeeze that on. And now we're going to add some sriracha as our final step. So there we have it, folks. Here's our vegan banh mi. And as you can see, this is a very easy, very affordable vegan recipe. We made this banh mi sandwich for just a little bit over $2, coming in at $2.04. So you can just make one of these for yourself, You could make 4 of them for a family dinner. Or if you're like me, you could just make 4 of these and eat them all in one night. Ha 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 ha. Oh, well, I gotta get control of myself here. Okay, well, once again, my name is Manny. Thank you so much for joining us for a vegan recipe. Join us again for another vegan recipe. This is the Vegan Man Food Channel.